So I'm gonna call the special meeting to order 6:03. We'll have,
Okay. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Because I have my 9 3/4 on this. You ever try doing that on a Zoom call? There it is.
No, I don't.
They're panicking.
No, you don't like, because you sit right next to me.
I know.
I look around, and
Right.
wherever I look at.
Do you want Megan and,
Yeah, and Mike.
Mike's on the Zoom.
Yeah, we can't, let's do it first.
Motion to recess to executive session at 6:04 PM for discussion on the following. Real estate parcels A, B, C, Y, and Z, Naugatuck Industrial Park, Section 2, Phase 1 and 2, Port of Naugatuck, pending litigation.
Section 3.
Section 3.
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, a motion and a second, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, I'm gonna reconvene the special meeting at 6:27. We have no matters coming out of the executive session.
Motion that the Board of Mayor Burgess authorize Mayor Anwar G. S. to enter into amendment number 1 to the intermunicipal agreement between the city of Waterbury and the borough of Naugatuck for the sharing of taxes and to provide certain joint municipal functions for the development of properties in Naugatuck and Waterbury.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. All right, first of all, everyone has a copy of this. And this is an amendment, and it doesn't change any of the basic terms of the agreement. We have a 50-50 partnership with Waterbury on all revenues. So all tax revenues and real property, personal property, and motor vehicle. The building permit fees are split 50-50 between Naugatuck and Waterbury. The sewer connection fee goes only to Naugatuck because we're taking all of the sewers. So what this amendment does is it adds specificity to the services that are being provided. And essentially what it says is that the borough is going to provide, at least the initial level, police and EMT services, and both towns will provide fire services. And then it talks about sanitary sewer service being with Naugatuck, and utility water with Connecticut Water, and this sort of divides up who's doing what. And this came from a meeting of the Naugatuck fire people, the Waterbury fire people, the fire marshals, the building inspectors, and everyone seems to be happy. The reason we have first call on police is that the front door and the address is in Naugatuck, and access is through the Naugatuck Industrial Park. So jurisdictionally, from a police criminal enforcement standpoint, it's correct and appropriate that Naugatuck have the lead on police, on fire. Ken, you want to say anything about fire?
No, fire. We met with the fire chief of Waterbury. We felt between both towns it would not work if we split responsibility. As long as everything taking primary for fire calls. In the event there is an actual fire, if there's a rescue, we would have to call the Waterbury if there was some full assignment. That it was an Naugatuck, we'll get the first one. One thing to note, they get the fire protection before there was that building. They were exceeding all standards. By factor two. If we're required to have a service flow for sprinklers, they double that. We're required to have one water supply, putting it two. They were very, very way above minimum. very confident. I did speak to the fire chief of Windsor, Connecticut. They have 3 Amazon facilities. Kennedy Road, Day Hill, and their largest one is 3,000 employees. They have virtually no issues. They've worked with them right from construction, to design, construction, and operations. We want to be the neighbors.
Tell them about that internal room that you
Oh, yes.
direct the fire, you fight the fire inside the building and
What the
protect the
unit
room.
is called a fire control room, a fire rated room separate from the facility that would respond to monitor fire alarms, sprinklers, communications, running with radio systems, so we can keep the library really above and beyond what they're required to do.
Wow.
Maybe they'll donate an ambulance.
I did ask the fire chief about donations up there, and they had merchandise donations, so they have the ambulance and everyone else. As far as the
You never
EMS, as far as the EMS side, as the mayor mentioned, because it's a Norfolk address, Norfolk ambulance has the license base responsible. We just need to work on an agreement with the state fire marshal's office for fire inspections, so they can help us out. This jurisdiction.
And, you know, I will point out that there are some significant fees for the building permit, that are divided 50-50. And there are some significant sewer connection fees that go only to us.
Right.
So those are some bonuses that may help us somewhat.
Is that gonna fall in the next, in this new budget's revenue stream?
I believe so, I hope so, and I'm sort of hoping we can use some of that to offset the gap with the school system.
Do we know if their fleet is registered in Connecticut?
Okay, so, good question. We asked, by the way, we deal with the developer, not with Amazon. But it's a very good question, and we,
Probably from New Hampshire, but,
well, probably from New York.
oh yeah,
There's no personal property tax in New York.
so, but we get to tax all the other stuff inside.
Yeah.
That's where the big money is.
Ken's company leases the whole parking lot.
So this, by the way, is scheduled to close in, I think it's April, no later than that.
Wow, this year?
This
Wow.
year, then we start construction, a month or so after that.
Are they still having public hearings or are they done?
Oh, they're all approved.
Well, I don't know, I mean, you don't
They
hear.
might have, some meetings just to keep everyone abreast of things, but I wouldn't call it a public hearing, but neighborhood type meetings. They are, ready to go.
Has there been plans to rework the, I'm gonna say possibly the exit coming off onto South Main? I don't know.
So the answer is, they are making, in the plans.
Yeah.
There are improvements to some rural roads that they're making at their expense. And that's all part of the building plan.
Then we do that whole intersection.
Sheridan Road. Sure.
We're gonna put a sound wall near Rocky's private, parking lot.
Where I read my newspaper in the morning sometimes. See those trucks come by.
Well, the sound would be blocked by a wall.
It's like the longest like two.
Yes.
You used to be able to trip it and the right side.
Now you sit, wait,
Yeah.
it's like the one over here at Old Firehouse
You
Road.
used to be
The
able
only
to.
thing tripping down there is Rocky when he's walking.
You used to be able to drive to the right-hand side, and as soon as you hit that right-hand side, the light would change.
Yeah, we're gonna redo it, who knows?
Because that's my cut through, yeah.
Now, also, remember that this property is in the enterprise zone. So, they are entitled to the enterprise zone tax incentives, which is 20, 30, 60, 80, or 100, but they're not asking for anything more than that. So, so the taxes, which are gonna be significant, every year they're gonna go up for 5 years.
Oh, just you mentioned one thing about permits ready money that comes up front as far as going towards education. It's not that I'm against education, but I think any money from that project should first go back to that project. If we have to build a road, if we have to build pipes, that money should go into that project.
I would say a little differently, see if you agree with me. I don't think we're gonna need any money for this project, but I agree with you in concept. And I think the money would go into our capital reserve account
Right.
for any project that we deem appropriate.
Will they be responsible to repave and widen the upper part of Great Hill Road
Yeah, well, parts of it,
from like Sheridan up?
parts of it, yeah.
Okay.
South Green down there is not a state, is that, that's not state.
I don't know if South Bend's a state or not. You know, I don't know if it is. North Bend's a state.
I didn't think so.
South Bay, not.
It's not a state
It's
road,
not
it's not
state,
considered.
no. Okay, I didn't think so.
It's a drag strip.
Yeah. Well, they've limited the lanes down there.
Yeah,
Do we plow, we don't plow South.
No.
Waterbury calls.
that's what it is.
We have access down there to the Waterbury Police or Washington Police, State Police, don't investigate.
But some of those businesses are in Waterbury.
Well, the Thai place is not Ithaca.
Well, the
Wayside
driveway
Market
to the
is
left
not-
is on top.
That's right.
That's
So that's a lot right there.
Town line goes to Wayside.
Is the diner, oh,
The
yeah.
diners.
Diners in Waterbury.
Yeah, and the market's.
And Wayside.
They're part of it.
Well, Wayside closed.
Yeah, they closed, it's not a sign on the window.
It's not relevant. Oh, that's good.
All right, any further discussion?
Mhm.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Motion of the Board of Mayor and Burgesses authorize Mayor and Warren P. Hess to transfer Borough of Naugatuck property to the state of Connecticut Department of Transportation, Lot 6, in parcel A and B subdivision, along with certain other property rights as required for the construction of the Naugatuck Railroad Station, State Project 304-022.
Second motion.
All right, just by way of discussion, we've already voted on this, but when we did, we had a specific square footage for the area, and no reference to the lot. And the lot has a slightly different, square footage than our motion. So I put this here only as an abundance of caution, to make it match exactly, what we're transferring. And I have the motion here, but on July 2nd, unanimously on a motion by Deputy Mayor Vitale, seconded by Burgess, Rosenblatt, that we do the same thing, except we reference the specific square footage or not a lot.
So it's safer just referencing the plans.
Yep. Questions? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the next item, I put this on here, there's always been a lot of discussion about, businesses on Church Street. Now, if you analyze what happened until January, and probably the entire project, over 90% of it is utilities. So there is no relief to anyone for a lot of reasons for utilities. What you're seeing right now, it started about 6 weeks ago, maybe a little longer, is the Borough Project. The Borough Project is really what you're seeing right now with the sidewalks, and the lights, and the curb. So, and that does, to a certain extent, inconvenience businesses. Now, in my mind, the biggest problem that some of those businesses are going to have is increases in rents for their landlords, because the properties are all going to be more valuable and have a higher rental area. So what I've been looking at is our TIF funds and the interest we're earning, which is significant. Um, and ongoing. And, we're gonna get less interest this year because we're starting, or next year, because we're starting to spend down the TIF money, but it's still significant. So, my thought would be not that we, reward anyone for anything that happened, but that we could consider setting some money aside, say 200, 300,000, something like that, from our interest to stabilize and incentivize businesses that are going to stay, remain, improve, have higher rents, and fight through the future and the many changes to Church Street, which are going to result in a lot of benefits, and also, some pain for some businesses. A lot of people get a lot of benefit, some not as much. But I wanted to just have a discussion. In my mind, we could set some money aside, and again, not for someone who says, "Oh, I was damaged, codes to utilities or whatever," but to help them stay, stabilize, and improve what they have going forward, knowing that right now, what they're seeing in front of their stores right now is the borough budget. I think what they've been complaining about in the past was almost 100, well, it was 100% utilities that were things that had to be done. But right now is the whole project. So I wanted to throw that out and see what everyone
Do
here
any
thinks.
businesses that town, do any of them own the buildings?
Well, some of them do. And some of them, like the Loaded Goat, they say, which, has seen some decrease. But, they also recognize the gains and actually want to build it. So,
Right.
so there's
Yes. Yeah.
it's a very difficult thing to measure because everyone is impacted differently.
So they'll reap the benefit of the positives after purchasing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. There's no
I'll say like in my mind, I look at the Thai restaurant and now he's a tenant, and he's in a spot that's maybe at least right now more difficult. So there are people who definitely have a negative impact that is and are going to experience rental increases, things of that nature. So do we want to set aside any money to address those issues?
I think the hardest part is going to be the measure of damages.
Right.
Almost like in insurance, when a business is shut down, and I would do a business income calculation to see how much they lost. But now you look at tax returns, you look at years of sales, you look at trend.
So in my mind, you're right, I agree completely, but I would say, to me, it's not really as much about losses because we didn't cause any of those losses.
Right.
Those were caused by the utility companies. It's more about, to me, taking an existing business and saying, in the next year, you're going to stay, and you're going to prove to us you're going to stay, and you have some rental increases, and you did lose some, in other words, a host of factors, and try and help them to some degree.
It's almost like we care about the business and care about, your efforts in staying.
I think we're encouraging them to remain.
Which we're also doing with the decided improvement.
Right.
Yeah, same thing.
Right, it's similar to that.
It is.
How do you come up with what the payment should be?
Well, we're not gonna decide that right now, but if we're gonna do it, that's gonna
I
be,
think then you need to get people together,
yeah, we'll have to put a group of talented people together to do that.
Some businesses might plus 5%, some 40%.
Oh, a lot of businesses
Yeah.
lost money.
Yeah.
Like I would say, in my building, I think everyone's gaining, but, but that's a different line of business.
Like Terry's always does business no matter
Except
what.
that, yeah, but they may have been impacted a little, but
Yeah,
the others, not at all.
There's always ways of
I think the other end was impacted more.
Yeah,
But you go anywhere to eat, so the restaurants would have been impacted.
Yeah.
yeah.
Or going to an accountant, you're gonna go to the accountant.
Conceptually, it's a great idea.
Yeah,
I think we just have to work on logistically and the details of how
I'd say definitely.
how the payout of those or how it's recognized.
Why don't we put together a small team to come up with that we can include, by the way, it doesn't have to be just Burgess.
I think need some professionals.
Yeah.
Right.
Now you got a business like Bobby at 321 that hasn't been open long enough to establish a sales role.
That too. Right. And her business is hard to evaluate.
Have any good accountants?
You know, I don't church.
I don't think work for free though.
Right, good.
I told him I wanted a discount, because my whole family goes there. I want a family discount.
You didn't get the volume discount.
What about the senior discount?
Yeah, that's what I do. I get that in my taxes. Yeah. It's good rules this year if you're retired.
What's the rule?
I don't know, you didn't tell me, just said it. Oh, it's good.
I'm waiting for tax.
All right, so what do should we move forward with this in some way?
Yeah, it's worth exploring.
Okay. All right.
But again, I think we need some professionals, whether they be accounting
I
or.
don't think we need a motion, but I'll come back with something for the next meeting. Good?
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever, next.
Also, the Board of Maine purchased adopt the following municipal resolutions to enter into a master agreement for capital grants under section 5310 of the Federal Transit Act with the state of Connecticut Department of Transportation, CT dot as if read.
Second motion.
All right, so the simple explanation is that in our next item, item 9, we're gonna go for a grant, for a federal grant for a second bus. And we can't do the second one without a master agreement. So we need a master agreement in place in order for us to proceed with item 9.
Roll call.
All right, if there are no questions, we'll proceed with a roll call vote. Burgess Gallo.
Yes.
Yes.
Burgess Rosenblatt is yes. I am yes. Rocky?
Yes.
Bob? Yep. Dorothy?
Yes.
Megan?
Yes.
Mike?
yes,
Okay. Passes unanimously, and we will proceed to item 9.
Motion of the Board of Maine purchase adopt the following municipal resolution in support of the 2025 section 5310 grant application as if read.
Second motion.
All right, so this is, so we can get a second bus. And I had a meeting also with Leslie, and I think when all is said and done, I shouldn't say I think, she recommended that we go back to the old plan where we have a bus for medical, and we have a bus for things in general, shopping or whatever. And then we have 2 buses like we had before, and she believes that that will eliminate the complaints that we get. Now, if there's a better way to do it, I'm certainly not
Yeah,
against
because
it.
she said she does 2 days, Stop and Shop, 1 day, Big Y,
Right.
And then if we could have that, we could seniors, maybe once a month.
He was a hell of a bus driver, is that Myrna?
Myrna Myrna,
Yeah, you'll see
Myrna
Myrna
Clark.
She's a hell of a bus driver,
Myrna Clark.
85 years old.
Wow.
She freaking pulled back that sucker right into my shop like it was nothing.
She's still driving.
Yeah, I know.
Myrna, no, I couldn't think
I
of
was,
that.
Marna's the best.
I was pumped.
Yeah.
And she pulled that thing right into our driveway, and backed it right up the driveway.
That's not a big wide driveway.
No,
Shame,
that's a
huh?
pain in the ass getting in our driveway.
Right.
It is.
Right.
I can't even get that her in that spot. She's very
And
determined.
I didn't realize she was 85.
Yeah, she was
I
very,
says,
yeah.
you're 85.
That's, all the class,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
I didn't know she was 85.
She comes out to our trivia when I run it for the Historical Society.
I says, you look fantastic for 85 years old.
She ought to,
Yeah.
she's driving the bus.
That's great.
she used to live on Park Avenue.
Okay.
Just very determined.
Second.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get
Yeah.
buses, it'd be nice.
All right, any questions on the bus?
No.
I will do a roll call vote. Kim,
Yes.
Julie,
Yes.
I am yes. Rocky?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Dorothy?
Yes.
Megan?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
All right? Passes unanimously. We will proceed to item 10.
Motion to adjourn at 6:52 PM.
Second motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
All right.
Aye.